my name is Ethan, and it's time for Kitchen Adventures. So, today I'm going to be showing you how to make butter tarts. Did you know that butter tarts are a classic Canadian dessert? They have a flaky crust and a really gooey inside. It doesn't get better than that. Today I want to take you to Smitty's Place Cafe, which has the best butter tarts I've ever eaten. Erla Hill invited us to come into her kitchen to make her infamous butter tarts with her. Seriously, these have sold for $500 for a dozen at a charity dessert auction. She makes about 2,100 butter tarts each summer. The crust recipe is the same recipe I shared in my raspberry pie video. You can click up here to get it. You know what? It makes so much crust you can make about 3 raspberry pies, or you could make butter tarts, or both. But in this video, I'll show you quickly how to make the crust. Here are the ingredients. If you can't find tender flake lard near you, you can use a pound of butter. Break your egg and whisk it. Add 1 tablespoon of vinegar to the egg and whisk. Add enough really cold water until it's 1 cup. In a separate bowl, put 5½ cups of flour. Open the tender flake lard, or your butter, cut it in very small pieces so it's easy to work with. Sprinkle 1½ teaspoons salt into the bowl. Add the tender flake lard to the flour mixture. Use a pastry blender and push and twist and push and twist the lard into the flour. It will look like this when it's done. Add your wet ingredients to the flour a little bit at a time. Put aside the spoon and mix it with your hands. Put a lot of flour on the surface. The trick to getting a nice flaky tart crust is to handle it as little as possible. Take a portion of the dough, give it a few pats with the rolling pin, turn it over, don't push too hard on the pastry when you roll it, and then flip it, making sure there's flour under it. Flour the rolling pin too. Always start in the center and go out. For tart shells, you don't need to roll it as thin as a pie crust. If they're too thin, they'll burn. But if they're too thick, they'll take longer to bake. Erla uses a Tupperware tart cutter to make perfect circles. You can also just use a wide bowl. Place the pastry crust all the way into the corners so there's no air pockets. And also make sure it gets all the way up to the rim of the muffin tin. If your pastry doesn't go all the way to the top, the butter tart filling will boil over and make it difficult to get the tarts out once they're baked. Erla's butter tart filling is top secret. But we'll show you the butter tart filling we used, and they've turned out really yummy. Here are the ingredients. Cream the butter, eggs, and brown sugar together. Add the heavy cream and vanilla extract, and stir until it's all mixed in. Pour your batter in, and fill it to about 1/4 inch below the rim. Don't fill them all the way to the top because the batter will swell and get bigger as it bakes. If you drip from one to another, the batter will get in between the crust and pan, and it will be very difficult to get out once they're baked. So each time you pour it in, wipe the bottom of the measuring cup so there's no drips. Set your oven, bake at 250 degrees for 12 minutes, and then turn it up to 350 degrees for another 12 minutes. When you pull them out, jiggle them a little. If they're too jiggly, they need to be baked longer. But when they look like this, they're ready. As soon as they come out, check your butter tarts. If any of the filling boiled over, take a knife and run it between the tart and the pan. You need to do this while it's hot. If you wait too long, you'll have a hard time getting them out of the pan. Time for the taste test. Yum! These butter tarts are a Canadian delicacy. Tender flake makes the flakiest crust. You can only get tender flake in Canada, and my mom still won't buy me those airplane tickets. But to substitute, you can get a pound of butter and use that instead. We have other videos on our channel, like the raspberry pie video. Click right here to see it. Thank you so much, Erla. You taught me a lot. Remember to subscribe to the QuadSquad channel so you can get notified by new videos every week. Thanks for watching my video. Bye!